Hi, welcome to session number 5 of The Peak, the first virtual summit for Amazon sellers based in the Middle East. My name is Crystal and I'm the founder of Amazon Sellers Society. In this session, we're going to be dissecting a very, very, very important subject for anyone who wants to start their journey on Amazon, or even for anyone who's currently selling on Amazon and not getting the results that they should be getting. When you start selling online, e-commerce, and primarily on Amazon, you might think that you don't need to sell your product, it's going to sell itself. But the truth of the matter is you still need to sell that product. You're not selling it one-on-one like you would in a brick and mortar or a retail environment, but you still need to sell your product through your listing, mainly your images and your copywriting. Those are very important skills for you to master and for you to learn about, because those are essentially the only contact that you have with your client and the only time you are able to convince somebody that this is a product that they need in their life. Tonight's session is called Transform Your Product into an MVP. Normally in sports, especially probably basketball, there's always an MVP, a most valuable player. We're going to transform that into most valuable product or a best-selling product or an Amazon choice product. And we're going to be talking about all things images, listing, copywriting with Raymond Ramos from Prime Label Studios. Welcome, Raymond, and thank you so much for being part of The Peak.
Hi, guys. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Very happy to have you.
Yeah, so this is an exciting opportunity. Of course, thank you to you guys, to your team. And yeah, I hope that, with my presentation and everything, everyone viewing this live now learns a thing or two about like how to, again, make their product into the most valuable product on Amazon.
Exactly. It's very important to have the skill, or at least to have a structure and a know-how of how to make your product stand out from the competitors.
Yeah, definitely. Especially now with Amazon, it's a super big space right now. It's getting bigger. I think each and every day it gets bigger. So, you know, uh, you just need to have eye-catching photos, eye-catching products, and then, the rest follows suit.
True. Now, in tonight's session, we're going to be talking about all of that and giving a lot of tips for everyone who's watching about how they can additionally find their target audience for their particular product and how they can, attack that target audience and make that product very valuable. So let's
Hit
get
the
started.
targets. Hit the targets. Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
hit the target.
So I'll just share my screen here.
Yes.
There you go. All right. So again, as mentioned by Crystal, turn your product into an MVP and how to make your product into the most valuable product on the Amazon space. Again, I'm Raymond Ramos. I'm the business development manager of Prime Label Studios and Amazon Listing Optimization Studio. So for your products nowadays, there again, like what we mentioned earlier, there's so much competition nowadays, especially with the rapid rise of e-commerce. I think this pandemic rushed the rise of e-commerce. It was already on the rise, but with everything being locked down, movements being limited, physical movements being limited, e-commerce had no choice but to rise up and to grow. So, it makes it easier nowadays to sell products, social media, Amazon, other spaces. So yeah, there's so much competition out there. And what else is really new nowadays? Again,
Exactly.
If someone wants to sell, like for example, what do you call this? A mug, a coffee mug. I'm sure someone else has already thought of that, or like 100 other people have thought of that already. So you
That's
really
true,
have to
because a lot of
distinguish.
people, their main comment is, I don't know what to sell on Amazon. Everybody's selling, I come up with an idea, I come and check, and I find somebody selling it already on Amazon. So 100%.
Exactly. Competition is really stiff.
Mhm.
So if you want to sell, you have to really think about this, plus of course other things that we're gonna
Yes.
tackle here today. So how do you choose your products? I say that there are a few things that you need to ask yourself. Number one is, what are you passionate about? What do you love doing? What do you love studying and knowing more about? Of course, do you have certain niches? Do you belong to a certain niche in terms of based on your passion, your lifestyle, etc.? Because these two can help you decide on a few products, or at least narrow down the list, so that again, there's so many products that you can sell, but if you're interested in the product, that will help you and keep you interested with when it comes to your selling on Amazon. So keep on asking why. Ideally, you have to ask why 7 times. This is something that I've learned, but
Yeah.
if you can keep asking why up until you run out of whys, then that's great. But
Mhm.
if you run out of answers, then maybe it's time to step back once again and like reassess everything.
Mhm.
So more times than not, you'll sell because you want to make money. I mean, that's business. But of course, keep in mind that during the first few stages of your journey, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be profitable right away. You're not really going to get your investment back right away. So you have to also
Mhm.
be patient. So, uh, by answering these questions, branding and themes will help make the difference. Why? Because it can help you target specific people. This is why you have to identify a niche. You really just can't target everyone right away, because gone are the days when you can just get a vanilla product, sell it on Amazon, and expect right away to be successful or profitable in the next year, 5 years, or even 10 years. That's not really how it's going to work, because your
Yeah.
product will just be seen as simple or generic, which is what we don't want to be associated with when it comes to your product.
Mm. So I
So,
know we've got a
yeah,
lot of examples, but meaning like if I want to sell a coffee mug, back to what we were talking, I can't just sell it to anybody and everybody who drinks coffee, tea, any cold drink, any hot drink, anything whatsoever, just basically anybody who drinks anything, because that's a very wide, I'm casting a very wide net, and I'm not going to be specifically targeting anyone. So what you're
yeah,
talking about is I want to decide who is my target audience, and obviously we're going to we're going to break it down now.
yep.
But deciding who my target audience is and speaking to that audience. So
Mhm.
if I want to sell my coffee mug to people who drink gourmet type of coffee that is very expensive and all of that, I have to target those people and not target somebody else.
Exactly. So you have to target who you want to target. You
Yes.
can't target everyone right away. So yeah, going back, I actually have a good example.
Yes, I know.
I I think this yeah, I think I lost the screen sharing.
Don't no, we'll put it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right. So a great example is Nike. This is a brand that I've supported. So this is what comes to mind when it comes to branding. So Nike obviously started targeting athletes, so that was their niche. Everyone who either plays basketball, football, tennis, etc. They targeted athletes, but eventually they were able to dominate their niche, and then they started expanding. When they started expanding and scaling, they became a lifestyle brand that started and successfully targeted everyday people. So their slogans, like for example, this one, "You can't stop us, you can't stop our voice." So this doesn't just call out to athletes, this calls out to everyday people. So if you would compare, like for example, you'd see a shoe like the one on the left versus a shoe on the right, sponsored by an athlete or a celebrity, or an influencer who's sponsored by Nike, who's a Nike endorser. I'm sure the number one choice, or like 9 times out of 10, these people would choose the Nike product. So that's what branding does.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do? You, as the Amazon potential Amazon seller, you need to choose your product and the marketplace. But take note, these come hand in hand, and they don't necessarily mean you have to do one after the other. Both are equally crucial, and
Mhm.
both have to happen simultaneously. So first, choosing your product. Use tools to your advantage. So Google Trends is something that is easily accessible to everyone and anyone. It's free,
It's free.
and it helps gauge the seasonality of interest for the product. So something that comes to mind here, thermal jackets. Thermal jackets is something that would sell probably sometime near winter, but under Google Trends, if let's say it's summertime, I'm sure you'll see a downtrend in this. Same thing when it comes to a tropical country. This is not probably going to sell as fast or as easily as compared to a country that has a cooler climate or cooler temperature.
Yeah.
So you again, competitiveness also. You have to scout your competition, the pricing margin of existing products. You have to study it. You have to see how profitable it is or it can be. How many listings are similar to your product on Amazon? Of course, you have to see if this is an already overplayed out product, or maybe it's something that still has opportunities. And what are these competitor listings doing with the product? So ideally, you check out the top products or the top listings that on Amazon, and you check them out and see like what are they doing well? Why are they top listings?
That's very important, Ray, because a lot of people think they focus on their product without looking at the competitors. And the truth of the matter is that Amazon is a platform that has a lot of competition. It makes us compete against each other because the idea of Amazon is to give client more choices and to give them the best choice possible. So without us even trying, we are already in a competition with other people. So you need to check what you want to do, but you also need to check what competitors are doing. So you see that you're doing something better, at least.
Exactly. And again, there's no way of calling yourself the most valuable product on Amazon if it's not a competition. So
exactly.
The keyword there is most.
Yeah.
So obviously,
for everyone who's watching, please make sure that you leave all your questions in the chat box, and we're going to have a Q&A session at the end, so you can ask Raymond anything that you like regarding listings, branding, and everything. Additionally, make sure that you click the thumbs up button so YouTube knows that this is a valuable video and other people can find it. Additionally, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you can watch all the other sessions that we have on tonight as well.
Yeah. And of course, going back, you have to see what people are saying about the product. Of course, it's good to see the positive reviews or top reviews, but you really have to focus on the negative reviews, the 1 to 2 star reviews. Why? Because this is an opportunity, or this shows you the opportunities that are still out there for you to work on this certain product. Not all products. I don't think there is a product on Amazon that once it has collected a certain number of reviews, like let's say 100, that it's all going to be 5-star. There's always going to be low reviews, so you just check for those. Take the time to read those, and who knows, like you might find the best opening that you can take advantage of right away. So think of the next step also. Can you build more than one product around the same market? So like with Nike, of course, they can choose to just sell shoes, but they also sell clothes, they also sell accessories. So again, it's all geared towards athletes and then eventually an active lifestyle. So same with your product and your branding. Can you build more than one product around the same market within your branding? Always keep the mindset of building a brand instead of making generic products in different niches. So again, as mentioned, gone are the days when you can just put up a random product, not have branding on it, and expect that you'll be successful. So you have to choose a niche, have a mindset of dominating that niche, which is a combination of your hobbies, interests, lifestyle, and favorites, and of course, the research behind it. So it's not just going to be one day, it's not just going to be a week or even a month, possibly not just even a year. So it's going to be a continuous learning process for you in building your brand, dominating that niche. So it's going to give you advantages in marketing, and eventually you can scale if your first product is successful. So samples that I'll present in a bit are, like, for example, generic frames versus rustic wedding frames. So I'll show you guys later in a bit. These are images that we in Prime Label Studios have worked on.
Yeah.
So again, for this one,
This is a frame. Yeah.
yeah, it's simple, it's common, it's not new. So
Mhm.
it's an everyday item. I'm sure everyone has one on their home. But this
Mhm.
one, if this kind of listing is presented to me on Amazon, uh, if for some reason this is a sponsored post, then I'd probably just click the first one if I'm really in a rush. But if I really want to be thoughtful, I really want to think things through, I don't want to waste my money, then I'd go for a branded product. Same with this hammock. It doesn't
Mhm.
really speak to anyone unless you really, really, really need a hammock, and this is the first one that
Mm.
comes out, but I doubt it will.
And it's the
Because
cheapest.
exactly,
If it's the
it's
first one
probably
and
the
it's
cheapest.
very cheap, then you're just gonna buy it.
Yeah, if I filter, like budget is just around $10, so I'd probably buy this one if this comes out, which I have a feeling that it will. But if I don't do those filters, then it probably won't come out. So again, it's simple, it's common, and it's not new. But for this picture frame, you see here that it's rustic. It goes in a theme that can fit in many households, in different interior designs within the house,
Mhm.
within your home. Of course, it caters to families, to
Mhm.
couples who want to preserve their memories and do so in a frame that looks elegant, that looks nice. So it's personalizable. So these things, the theme, the branding, the niche, they all got it. So if you see this, if you see something like this, as you mentioned earlier, Crystal, uh, this in itself sells your product for you because
Yeah.
you can't actually speak to your visitors online.
Mhm.
Always, you can probably do so if they leave a comment, they leave a review. But initially, you know, if they're just a visitor, these will be the ones that will do the talking for you. Same with this hammock. You see the theme here. So if I'm someone that really just wants to enjoy the outdoors, I want something easy. So I see 4 steps to freedom. So then I'd go for this hammock right then and there. Plus, of course, the colors, they add like a certain pop so that at least
Mhm.
it's eye catching. So again, the theme is here, branding is here, and the niche is also here.
So basically, I haven't transformed the product. I haven't created a brand new product, but I have positioned it in a way whereby it targets a certain type of person looking for example, the frame, looking to put their very intimate photos of their wedding, their engagement, their special events in a certain frame instead of just selling a frame.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it really all boils down to how you want to present your product.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, it depends on you. Like you, there are multiple ways to sell this frame. You can cater to, you know, more hip people and
Mhm.
make it have a theme like it's minimalist. Or you can cater to these kinds of people who are family centric and also have interior designs that have wood as furniture and stuff like that. And same with this one, you can cater to people who love the outdoors. You can cater to people who possibly love beaches.
Yes.
Then, of course, the theme would be different. The hammock, the look, the logo, the colors would be different. It would be more in line with a beach theme.
Mhm.
So these are the things that really are crucial when it comes to you wanting to have your product stand out on Amazon. So again, with Prime Label Studios, a service provider to sellers for Amazon sellers, we've helped bring different brands and themes to life for all kinds of Amazon sellers all over the world. So we've encountered different products, lifestyle products, everyday use products, super rare products that you probably won't think of if you're not in that niche group. So these are just some of the reviews. So again, as you can see here, the seller, it starts with the seller. The idea starts with the seller. It's not going to start with us. We're not going to dictate
Mhm.
what your theme is, what your idea, your niche is. That's all. That will all fall under you because those are your interests, those are your hobbies, your favorites, etc.
Yeah.
But we can expand on them. We can help sell your product. We can bring it to life. You just give us the information. Like, I want to target this certain niche. I want to target this certain interest group, and watch what we do best as we bring your theme and your branding to life. So we have different services, but since, of course, you guys took the time out to attend this seminar held by Crystal and her group, just mention to us through any of our contact forms that you attended the peak today, April 3, 2021, and we'll give you a 10% discount on any service, 50% off on the project brief. That's where we expand on your ideas, and one free infographic for any of our photography packages, which you can see online at primelabelstudios.com. You can also reach out at hello@primelabelstudios.com. So, make your product stand out with Prime Label Studios. Contact us now, and we'll reach out and we'll help you guys build your product and make them into the most valuable product on Amazon. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Ray. So let me get started with some of my questions first. For everybody who's watching, let us know a little bit more about Prime Label Studios. Obviously, we've had you featured on our channel multiple times, but there are a lot of people who probably don't know a lot about Prime Label Studios. So let us know a little bit more.
Yeah, so Prime Label Studios is an Amazon listing optimization studio. So we do product photography, graphic design, copywriting, and videos. For all Amazon sellers. We target Amazon sellers and we cater to Amazon sellers. Of course, we're very open to discussion when it comes to what are your ideas. We build on them, but at the same time, we value and foster collaboration with our clients, with the people we work with. Of course, we take great pride in building these listings, helping our clients to potentially become more successful in Amazon by, of course, making their listings more optimized when it comes to just images, their copy, or even their EBCs or their videos if they're brand registered.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I've got a couple of questions related to what you talked about now.
Sure.
So the first thing is you mentioned something that is very important, and I want to go back to it. So you mentioned the fact that you can either choose the marketplace and then decide on a product, or you can decide on a product and then choose a marketplace. Why exactly did you say that? That's fascinating because it's 100% true.
Okay, so first off, when you choose a product, I think that's easier. That's the easier part because with products, if you check out your passions, your niche, and what are your interests, then it's gonna be easy. So if you're interested in photography, you're probably gonna sell cameras or camera accessories, something like that. If you're interested in sports or basketball, for example, you're gonna sell jerseys, you're gonna sell socks, you're gonna sell shoes, something like that. So that's the easy part. Really, in terms of product research, it's gonna take time to scout your competition. But when it comes to scouting the marketplace, you can come up with 100, 1,000, a million ideas when it comes to products. But is it what do you call this? Is it profitable or is it scalable in the marketplace you choose? So going back to my example earlier, if you want to sell thermal jackets, let's say you love wearing thermal jackets, but let's say you wanna target Amazon Mexico, something like that, a country that has a fairly warm temperature, not really as cold as somewhere in Europe or somewhere in Canada or in the US. So I don't think it's going to be profitable.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be too profitable in a country or in a marketplace that doesn't really cater to those kinds of products. So it really goes hand in hand. Like you can't prioritize one over the other. So it has to be that perfect mix. You have to be able to combine those two things, those two researches that you'll do, the product research and the marketplace research. So that's something that a seller should do on his or her own. You can take suggestions, but eventually, of course, it's gonna be up to the seller himself or herself, where they want to sell, what they want to sell. It's gonna go hand in hand always.
Perfect. My second question is, I have a second question, but let's answer one of our viewers' questions. So Harsh is asking, does Prime Label Studios have an office in the UAE, and where are you based?
Okay, sorry I wasn't able to mention that, Harsh,
we forgot
but thank
to
you for your
mention that,
question. Our studio is based in the Philippines. So When it comes to sending in products, you can send it over to our studio. We give those information out once you guys are in, once you guys are paid for. But yeah, you can sell those products. Or again, as mentioned, we have graphic design services also. So if you already have the photos, then we can work on these photos, and then we can just give you the final product. But yeah, our office is only in the Philippines as of the moment. But of course, regardless of timeline, we'll make sure to answer to you guys. We'll take your calls. We're open to adjusting our schedules and everything.
Yeah. Do you help source products? Harsh, if you're interested, Amazon Sellers Society is a product sourcing and hunting and agency for Amazon sellers. So if you're interested, you can go to our website, assmiddleeast.org/sell, and see all the services that we have as well.
Yep.
A question, Ray, which I'm sure is on a lot of our viewers' mind at the moment. So a lot of people did decide to enter the whole Amazon sphere, definitely in 2020. Everybody was interested before, but maybe in 2020 it's more of a reality. Life is too short and all of that.
Rushed. It got rushed.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people are looking at Amazon from a business perspective and not from, I want to sell something I'm passionate about. Maybe I'm not really passionate about anything that I can potentially sell on Amazon. I'm just a normal person. I don't have all of these extreme hobbies. So from that point of view, I'm sure a lot of people are very scared to decide on a certain theme or a certain target for their products. What if they choose the wrong target? Yes, they did the research and all of that, but they chose the wrong target. What potentially can I do in order to fix that problem?
Okay. So when it comes to choosing the targets, of course, like going back to your example, Crystal, coffee mugs or mugs in general, you can practically sell to everyone. But let's say, for example, you want to target coffee drinkers or something like that. So what you do is to really, and then suddenly you want to do a pivot. Let's say you want to target tea drinkers instead. So what you do is to really narrow everything down. Again, product research, that's something you can do on your own, or that's something that Crystal and her team can probably help you out with. But when it comes to drilling down the theme, like you have to keep asking why. Why is this certain group of people gonna buy your product? Thermal jackets. Why would someone in a country that has a warm climate buy a thermal jacket? So they really wouldn't have an idea as to why they would do that. So that in itself, you run out of answers. So like what I said earlier, if you run out of answers, it's time to take a step back. You don't. If you are a person who doesn't have a niche or doesn't really have a passion for anything, you just want to make money, that's good. But also temper your expectations. Temper your expectations because you're not really gonna break even right away. So, but again, you have to keep asking why. Still ask why you're gonna sell that product, why you're gonna sell it to this group of people, why will they need it. So you're not gonna probably run out of whys. You can ask your friends, you can ask your family, you can do a search on Google. Again, Google Trends, or you can even check like fashion trends in the Philippines. This right here is a country that is a warm climate, so probably thermal jackets wouldn't make sense because you'd probably sweat
not sell a lot
profusely. Yeah, you're probably going to sell one or two to people who would probably travel, but how many are those compared to the people actually living here? So just keep on asking why. Again, Crystal and her team can help you out. Agencies like those can help you out with product research.
Raymond, additionally, like if I create, for example, the example that you gave us, the frame.
Yeah.
I can, if I see that, well, I'm not hitting my target correctly, I can just, after a while, I can simply just change my target audience? And well, the picture frame is quite easy because through the design of the listing and the images, you were able to target a certain type of people or a certain type of client. But additionally, I can transform it into a little girl's birthday, for example, or something like that. So I can potentially change my target audience if I wanted to.
Yeah. Once you're in, and let's say your theme, again, going back, is like a beach house, a frame for a beach house, and it's not working. So there's something what we call A/B testing, or split testing. So you can get another set of photos. It's going to be the exact same product, but it's going to be under a different theme. So again, going back to your example, it's going to be for a girl's party or a children's party, something like that. So it has balloons, clowns, confetti, etc. as design. Then you can do that. You can freely do that. You can change up minor parts of your copy because the copy in itself should target the features. But the images would have to be a drastic pivot for example, from the beach house. So you're going to have different colors, you're going to have different themes, you're going to have different word usage. So those kinds of things. So people on Amazon have done this. They've done A/B testing. They've had, like, for example, two versions of their main images. One would show the product, one would show the product with a box and the inclusions. So it's really up to you guys. What you see is working. Again, just give us the information. We'll work on it.
You know, that's the beauty of having an e-commerce store or selling on Amazon, is that contrary to having a brick and mortar store or a retail business where it would be so extremely expensive to make, for example, a change in the design and decor of your store, on Amazon, it's quite simple. Even probably on an e-commerce stores using Shopify, for example, it's quite an easy thing to do. If you wanted to, definitely it is obviously, it does require a monetary investment, but it's not something that requires, oh my God, so much time and effort.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And
so Harsh is additionally asking, what exactly is a storefront design and product inserts?
Okay, so good question, Harsh. For the storefront, it's like a dedicated website within Amazon for your brand. So let's say, like, again, going back, your brand is Nike. So instead of like having your own website, buying your own domain, once you're brand registered, again, this is something that we don't do with Prime Label Studios. We don't offer assistance with brand registry. But if you are brand registered already, you have an opportunity to put up your own storefront. So it's basically a page within Amazon that if people are interested in your brand, or people are interested to know more, like what else do you guys sell? I had a good experience with this brand. What else do you guys sell? You'll see all of the products listed there, or at least like your top selling ones. It's basically like an e-commerce website within Amazon. Product inserts, those are like the manuals within the product. So it usually doesn't really show up in most listings. It's just really in the boxes or in the packages of the listings. But you can display like the front part or the back part, or even an unfurled version of your product insert on your images, on some of your images. But this is basically like the instruction manual, or leave a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So it's kind of like just a contact. So it's kind of like a contact, an opportunity to reach out. So you can also, if you have a storefront already, then you can add that there. You can add the link. You can add QR codes, etc.
Yeah. So just to make it a little clear, not everybody can have stores. You have to be brand registered on Amazon, and you will get a store.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to have to go through the process.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to have to go through the process of brand registering. Again, it depends on the marketplace. So that's readily available on the Amazon website. Also, on the steps that you need to do in order to get your brand registry on Amazon.
Yeah, it's very valuable though.
Exactly.
Let's answer this last question. We've answered it before, but Farhan is asking where Prime Label Studios is located and if they have to send you samples for photography. How does it work?
Yeah, so Farhan, again, thanks for your question. Again, Prime Label Studios is located here in Manila, in the Philippines. So we give out the addresses in our terms of service, and we also give out updated addresses depending on where the shoot will happen. So yeah, that's where you can send it out. Once we receive it, we'll shoot your products and everything else that you'll need.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Raymond. Anything else you would like to say about Amazon?
All right. So yeah, thanks again, Crystal, and your team for the time. And for Harsh, for Farhan, and for all the other viewers here who are looking forward to starting their journeys on Amazon or who've already started their journeys, be patient. You know, it's not going to be easy at the start. Again, don't expect like an ROI right away, but you know, with patience, with doing things the right way, making your listing as optimized as possible. Of course, we'd love to help you out with that. You're giving yourself a better chance of being successful on Amazon. You're playing the odds.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for everyone for joining me and Raymond at The Peak. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up so other like-minded people can find it, and I'll see you in other sessions. Thank you, Raymond.
All right. Thanks, Crystal. Thank you, guys. Stay safe.